Recently, there have been certain changes to Amex cards that I wanted to go over today and give my stance on the whole situation. Let it be known that despite being named Chase, I am also an Amex fan. I have no weird rivalry with them or anyone named American Express, but I will say that Amex is making some interesting moves that could set up what happens next in the near future to some of their other credit cards. Is Amex heading down the toilet bowl? No, I don't think so. We're still far from that happening, so you don't need to worry about canceling Amex altogether anytime soon. The first thing that I want to cover are the changes to the business gold card, because I've seen some people share that they will be canceling that card because of these changes. Right off the bat, I think I speak for everyone except CJ that the worst change by far coming to the business gold card is that you can now get it in the rose gold flavor. Why did Amex want to taint the pure gold waters of the business gold? I cannot think of a good reason for that. However, another little tickle of bad news is that the business gold card will see an elevated annual fee of $375. Currently, this card has an annual fee of $295, so we're talking a price hike of $80 per year, or in Gen Z terms, that's about 14,000 V-Bucks. Although you could lock in the current $295 annual fee for your first year if you apply for this card before February 1, 2024. Now, there's no need to get your spaghetti all tangled up quite yet, because along with that elevated annual fee, Amex has decided with their big, gracious, and kind hearts that adding credits to this card will make us feel magically better. Before this revamp, the Amex Business Gold had no credits, but now it will have 2 monthly credits for you to take advantage of. The first is a $240 annual flex credit that can be used at Grubhub, FedEx, and office supply stores. That $240 is broken down into, surprise, surprise, monthly increments of $20 per month. But don't get too excited just yet, because Amex is adding their best credit ever to this card, which is an annual $155 Walmart Plus credit broken down into $12.95 increments every month. Where do I even get started with this one? Well, first things first, I gotta call a spade a spade. Amex is once again bumping up the annual fee and adding more monthly credits to justify that elevated price. That's kind of what we saw in the Amex Gold card in 2018, which is the last time they made any major changes to that card. We saw this in the Amex Platinum card a couple years ago, and we also saw this to the Amex Brilliant card like, I don't know, last year or something. Don't get me wrong, I understand that this is a part of what happens when a card is revamped or refreshed. I would imagine adding credits to a card is relatively easier for them to do as opposed to, changing the reward multipliers or something like that. Also, adding credits isn't necessarily a bad thing either. I'm sure some of you out there are jumping up and down because of the new $240 flex credit, or some of you are even now drooling your face knowing that there's a Walmart Plus credit on this card now. I get that. I don't want to rain on your parade, but what does bother me is keeping track of monthly credits on top of monthly credits on top of monthly credits. It's like first world problems, oh man, now I have to remember to use yet another monthly credit again. But it does add up. As for the credits themselves, clearly the Walmart Plus credit is the worst of the two. It is the neglected child in this scenario. It must be free or very cheap for Amex to include Walmart Plus, because I don't know why they're slapping it on the card like this. If we were to go down this route, I think would be amazing if instead of a Walmart Plus membership, perhaps we get a Sam's Club membership instead. Because if you own an Amex Platinum card and an Amex Biz Gold card, what are you gonna do with 2 Walmart Plus credits? Okay, well, technically you could maybe use one of those credits, but you definitely don't need 2 of them. Then my small take on the flex credit is, why did Amex have to narrow down the credit to just FedEx? I understand that they probably have a partnership, they're probably buddy-buddy with them, but I'm just trying to look out for you guys who are using other shipping carriers as well. Which, by the way, in a little bit, I wanna talk about how Amex nerfed this card so hard for people who do ship a lot, especially outside of FedEx. Along with those credits, Amex has also decided to move around some of the reward multipliers as well, which we got to go over right now. The good news is that Amex added 2 new categories to the Business Gold card. One is transit purchases, which includes trains, taxi cabs, rideshare services, ferries, tolls, parking, buses, and subways. Personally, I love a good transit or travel multiplier like this. It's similar to the multipliers on the Chase Sapphire cards and the Amex Green card, which if you're interested, you can learn more about those cards and more by clicking the links in my description box. Consider taking a look because it does help support my channel and it feeds my Charmander. Then the second new multiplier is on monthly wireless telephone service charges made directly from a wireless telephone service provider in the United States, which isn't nearly as exciting as the first one. The bad news though is that these two new multipliers come at the cost of two solid categories that used to be on this card. The Amex Business Gold can no longer earn 4x points on US purchases for shipping and airfare purchased directly from airlines. May their souls forever rest in peace. Of course, these changes in the multipliers is highly subjective and will vary case by case. But like I mentioned earlier, I saw a lot of people commenting how they will be canceling this card now because it used to be their go-to card for shipping purchases. Instead, those same people will probably have to pick up the Chase Inc. Business Preferred so they could earn 3x on those shipping purchases. Which, by the way, that card has more multipliers than that and only costs $95 a year. As for the airfare category, I don't think that one will be missed as much just because you have cards like the Platinum or Business Platinum that earn 5x on airfare still. And people who own the Business Gold card probably have some version of the Platinum card. So they have the Platinum card to use for their airfare purchases and also their Walmart Plus credit that we talked about earlier. Anyway, with the two new categories and without the two old categories, here is the full reward multiplier list available on the Amex Business Gold card now. We have purchases at US advertising, US purchases made from electronic goods retailers and software and cloud system providers, US purchases at restaurants, US purchases at gas stations, which is pretty good, transit purchases, and US monthly wireless telephone service charges. You will earn 4x on the top two categories that you spend the most on during that statement cycle period. The 4x categories are capped at $150,000 in combined purchases every calendar year. Then finally, the last reward multiplier change on this card is you can now earn 3x on flights and prepaid hotels booked through AmexTravel.com, which is like the old airfare multiplier this card had, except with a lower multiplier, and it's limited to Amex travel bookings only. Also, there is a 150,000 point sign-up bonus on the Amex Business Gold card that's kind of just floating around in the wind somewhere out there, so be sure to check for that offer if you're interested in this card. Before I move on to the changes with the regular Amex Gold card, what are your guys' thoughts on the Business Gold card now? Overall, were these positive changes or negative changes? Because spoiler alert, there are only negative changes to the personal Amex Gold. As for this version of the card, the only real changes so far are in the fine print regarding the sign-up bonus offers. Let me go ahead and read that change for you. You may not be eligible to receive a welcome offer if you have or have had this card, the Premier Rewards Gold card, the Platinum card from Amex for Charles Schwab, the Platinum card from Amex exclusively for Morgan Stanley, or previous versions of these cards. So basically, the SparkNotes version of that is that if you have had the Gold card before or any version of the Platinum card, you will not be eligible for the sign-up bonus on the Amex Personal Gold. Amex seems to be stomping its way through all of its cards because similar language was found last month on their Delta cards and similar language was found earlier this month on their Amex Blue cards. Then of course now we have this language here for the Gold card. Let me be clear that this does not include the Business Gold version, and this is not for the Platinum cards, at least not yet for the Platinum cards either. So if you want the Platinum and Gold card, here's what you should do. With this new update, you should now apply for the Amex Gold card first before you apply for the Amex Platinum. That way you can still manage to get a sign-up bonus from the Amex Gold and get a sign-up bonus for the Amex Platinum. This isn't really a ball breaker quite yet, but this could be a little teaser as to the potential changes that Amex will make on the Gold card. What changes will they make? Well, there's no real word of the specifics quite yet. However, bloggers and other YouTubers like Ask Sebi have taken note that the last revamp to the Personal Gold was in 2018, so it is kind of due for some change. The one thing they could almost certainly bet on happening is that the annual fee will go up. And along with that, maybe we'll get credits, maybe we'll get different benefits. Only time will tell. At the end of the day, what is the state of Amex? Well, I think these changes were not incredibly significant to do any real damage. Like Uncle Luke said in a recent video, which you should go watch by the way, Amex is still here to stay, baby. They have the Gold card, they have the Platinum card, they have the Aspire card, and they're all untouchable, like the end of a rainbow. Those cards are goated right now. They are in a league of their own. I still love my Amex cards and points, so you could call me Chase Amex Yokoyama, I guess. Okay, well, thank you guys so much for watching. Grab your Uggs and stay warm. It's getting cold out there. Have a great rest of your day. All right, shoes.